Hi guys, it's Andy aka LG aka Eloggy. I'm here ready to bring you guys a Magic the Gathering deck tech video. I'm recording a bunch of these in a row. I'm all excited. I just recorded 3 of these videos and I'm on number 4. And I feel like I'm on a roll, so I'm gonna keep the train rolling with this deck, which is... I forget which is in this deck box. Ooh, we got a banger here. One look at that land and I know what this is. Y'all already know what it is because y'all saw the title, but yeah, I'm at a stage... Whoops, there's still a card in there. I'm at a stage in my Magic career, I guess, where I'm experimenting with not quite net decking, but just taking deck archetype ideas that I find interesting and actually building them instead of just building jank like elves or cat tribal or any of my previous videos, which can all be found in a playlist, the link to which I will leave in the description. I recommend checking it out if you're interested in this, just to see like my progression with the way I used to build decks compared to now. Back then I didn't even build sideboards or anything, so all this would have just been straight non-existent about a year and a half ago, but here we are today with my first like actual competitive modern deck. I don't know, put competitive in super quotes, but my previous modern decks just meant they were legal in modern. They're not really competitive to be used in modern, but just that they were legal there. This is actually decently competitive, I feel. And y'all already saw the title, so you know this is Bogles, or Bogles as some people like to call it. I think the name Bogles is funnier, so I'll probably call it Bogles, but it's named after a slippery bogle. So the deck is supposed to be called Bogles, but the name Bogles is just funnier, so I'm probably going to pronounce it that way. If that bothers you, I'm sorry. Anyway, let's get into the deck. We got 4 copies of Razorverge Thicket, a land from Mirrodin Besiege that enters tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands. So we're playing a very low to the ground deck, so we don't need many lands, and coming into play untapped early is what we need. So I shouldn't need many lands late game, so this is a major beneficial land to draw early game, because it provides us the 2 colors we need, which is red and white and green. We also got Windswept Heath, the fetch land for those colors. Fetching them out. Nothing really to say there. Here we got, bro, I'm so excited to show y'all this. Y'all ready? Look at this Temple Garden, boys. Fresh off of Ravnica Remastered, bro. Looks straight gorgeous. Oh yeah, I love it. I pre-ordered these from Card Kingdom, by the way. Hashtag not sponsored, but that's where I got them. Very glad I did. But yeah, Shockland at taps for the colors we need can come into play untapped. That's what we like, so there's that. Also got 2 Misty Rainforest. I don't think I have anything that taps for blue in here, so I don't think I have any islands, but never hurts to have fetches. Here we got Horizon Canopy. 3 of them. You can tap it and pay 1 life to add white or green. So it's like Pain Lands, but you can't like tap it for colorless without losing life. So if you tap this for mana, you're going to lose life. However, you can also pay 1, tap it, and sack it to draw a card. So clutch early game option and a solid late game addition as well. Only 3 though. And then I had to include some basics because you know your boy. We got 2 basic forests and 1 plains, which brings our land total to what should be 20. Yes, that is 20. However, there's 1 more, and that is actually Dryad Arbor, which is a land creature. This is mostly in here to, like, if I have one of my fetch lands, an opponent plays a card that makes me sacrifice a creature, I can fetch, pull this out of the deck, get it into play because it's a creature. It's not even a token creature, so like I could use this as my fodder for Shoulder's Edict and just sack this. That's why I got the Misties in there. I don't actually have blue mana, but additional copies of fetch lands are helpful in fetching this out. In situations where I desperately need a creature to sack other than my souped up Bogle Tron monster. Not Tron. Tron? What am I saying? Isn't there slang for I don't know what I'm talking about, bro. Anyway, that's our land base. 21 lands. One of them's a Dryad Arbor, but the rest are actual functional lands. I suppose in desperate situations, Dryad Arbor is a land, but it's just going to die to Fatal Push, so is it really a land? I don't think so. Anyway, now let's move on to the deck. Here we got the namesake, Slippery Bogle. Cute little guy. Had to get the original, what is that, Eventide? Or it's somewhere among there. Anyway, Slippery Bogle, 1/1. Hybrid Simic colors, 1 mana, but we're not playing blue, so we'll be paying that with green. 1/1 with Hexproof. That's all it is. It's just a 1/1 with Hexproof, bro. How bad can it be? In addition to Slippery Bogle, we got some friends in Glade Cover Scout, which is functionally the same thing. It's pretty much identical. It just, there's no hybrid blue mana, but we don't have blue anyway, so it's literally the same thing as Slippery Bogle in our deck here. We are also playing, as our final creature, 4 copies of Silhana Ledgewalker, a 2 mana 1/1 that can't be blocked except by creatures with flying. So it's like, offensively, it's like flying but better because it can be blocked by reach. So that's just funny. But it's also hexproof. 2 mana 1/1 can be blocked effectively, and hexproof. So hexproof tribal. Pretty much. That is what Bogles is, if y'all don't know. You play small costed hexproof creatures that you can suit up with auras and get around the downside associated with auras, which is 2 for 1ing yourself. But slapping auras on hexproof creatures is marginally less dangerous than slapping them on regular creatures, so there's an entire archetype built around this, and this is what I build my deck around. So these are the creatures, and the rest of these spells are the auras we're going to equip them with. So here we got 4 Rancor, just a crazy efficient 1 mana +2, +0, and trample. And when it hits the graveyard, it returns to your hand, so even if your creature dies, you don't go way down in terms of card disadvantage, because it just returns to your hand. So that's nice. Rancor the GOAT. We're also playing 3 copies of Sixth Sense as a way to, when our creatures get through, accrue card advantage instead of, like, to make up for the fact that we're putting ourselves at risk by suiting up our creatures with auras. We're trying to put down some insurance that we don't get blown out because we're drawing so many cards by not only 3 copies of Sixth Sense, but 4 copies of Keen Sense. Both do the same thing. I think Keen Sense is technically better because it can be non-combat damage, whereas this needs to be combat, but it does the same thing in this deck. So, yep, 7 copies altogether. So we should be drawing many cards as long as our creatures get stronger, which they should be, because we got options like Spider Umbra, so it gets +1/+1 as reach, and Totem Armor, which means that if a equipped creature would die, this gets destroyed instead. Your creature sticks around. So very, very wild option. Anything with Totem Armor is just pretty insane. Yeah, 3 Spider Umbra. The reach hardly even matters, but the 1/1 and the Totem Armor is so good. I have 1 copy of Spirit Link, which is a 1 mana aura that gives creature lifelink. I guess it doesn't actually give lifelink, like the keyword, but it effectively lifelink. We're also playing Hyena Umbra, another Umbra with Totem Armor. +1/+1 and First Strike. First Strike is huge, just to beat over creatures that we otherwise wouldn't, but it has the Totem Armor, so if the creature we have would be destroyed, it's not, so that's nice. And we got Sentinel's Eyes, I think only like 1 or 2, yeah, 2 copies. It gets +1/+1 and has Vigilance, just a decent aura, and it can also be cast from the graveyard. It's a decent card, nothing exciting there. Now we're getting to the exciting cards. 4 copies of Ethereal Armor. 1 mana. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control and has First Strike. So, let's say we have a Slippery Bogle, equipped with a Rancor, a Sixth Sense, a Spirit Link, and an Ethereal Armor. I don't even feel like doing the math trying to figure out how powerful that thing would be. It'd be up there. Ethereal Armor is how the deck functions, because your creature becomes so big that your opponents can't really block it. I mean, if you have like a Ledgewalker, they literally can't block it anyway. So yeah, Ethereal Armor is pretty cracked in a deck like this that just wants to load up on auras. Speaking of auras and their payoffs, this is the final card in the deck. Daybreak Coronet, 2 white pips of mana, and it needs to be attached to a creature with another aura already on it. Those are two tremendous downsides. However, the upside, for 2 mana you get crit creature gets +3/+3, has first strike, vigilance, and lifelink. That is going to swing so heavily in your favor. With first strike, lifelink, vigilant, like, you are pretty much never going to lose that race if you can keep your creature around. So I think in that sense, maybe I should put more Umbras in here just so creatures don't die. Maybe drop some of the senses. But this is just the first iteration. I'm sure in about a year now I'll be back with an update video, but this is what we got so far. This is the sideboard, however. Got some Force of Vigor, just as a way to destroy artifacts and enchantments. Because of the card advantage we'll be accruing with Keen Sense, ideally we'll have more than enough fodder to pitch to that, so we don't lose too much card economy wise when we cast that for free, if we choose to do so. Paying 4 mana though is probably not what we want to do, so if we want that in our deck, we'll probably be pitching a green card for it, so keep that in mind. I also got how many? 3 copies of Endurance, just as graveyard hate. It's also just a decent flash for each creature. Probably not one that we'll be slotting up a lot of equipment onto, not equipment, auras onto, but could be a nice beater. If the opponent's got a lot of board wipes and I need to play at instant speed somehow, could be decent. Here we got 3 copies of Boromir. This is mostly for like Cascade and other free spell garbage. If an opponent casts a spell and no mana was spent to cast it, Boromir here counters it, so that's funny. Boromir out here just not caring, just countering everything. Boromir's my favorite member of the Fellowship too, so pretty fitting. Now here we got 4 Leyline of Sanctity as our main way to stop edicts. It's also nice because Grief is still in the format, unfortunately, so that's nice for stopping that. But it's mostly for edicts. Doesn't prevent against Sheoldred's Edict though, which is why I mentioned it earlier in regards to fetching out my Dryad Arbor to sack for a creature. Sheoldred's Edict is a messed up card, but with how many cards we'll be drawing, hopefully we can just play multiple creatures and just have enough fodder to get around Sheoldred's Edict, if that is what my opponent is playing. I don't know how common of a card it is in Modern, but yeah, that's what we're rocking. And for the final 2 cards on the board, I got Questing Beast as a way to prevent damage prevention from like the One Ring. One Ring, the turn at ETBs, it gives protection until their next turn, so if they're trying to do that into like a sweeper or something, and I need 1 more turn to attack them, Questing Beast could be my answer as a way to negate their damage prevention. Among this text box that everyone memes has too many words in it, it really doesn't, by the way. It says damage can't be prevented, so that's my answer to the One Ring, and this is a pile of cards right here. I just like looking at it. There's a bit of a glare. Let me see if that makes the cards look a little better. Either way, I really like the way this deck looks. I can't wait to play with it. I'm probably gonna get hated, but it looks very fun. I can't wait to actually play with it. But in the meantime, hope you guys enjoyed my first iteration with Bogles. I'm sorry, Bogles. Let me know what you think. If you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to subscribe. But I'm gonna get on out of here, so thanks for watching and have a good day, guys.